In this video, we are going to talk about @state. So what is @state? @state is a property wrapper that allows you to manage state within a view. When the state changes, SwiftUI automatically re-renders the view to reflect those changes. This makes your view more declarative and reactive. Let's take a simple example. So let's remove this text and create a VStack. And inside this VStack, let's create a new text. And we will enter a string called counter. And this would be of large title. And let's give it a font of large title. And in this stack, we will have a button as well. Let's create a button with action and label. So in the action, what we are going to do is increment the counter. So increment the counter, and let's create a simple button. So our button would say increment. Give this button a style of, let's say, bordered. So now on click of this increment button, what I want to do is increment a counter over here. So let's say if it is 0, on click of this button, it should increment this counter. So how we can do that? To do that, we need to create a variable which we can increment. So let's say if I create a simple variable without @state property, so it would be of var counter, and it would be initialized with 0. And then this counter we want to increment and use click on this button. Now for this code, Xcode will give error because this counter variable is not mutable. So to make it mutable, we need to wrap this variable into @state property, and then it would become mutable. And every time we will increment it, it will increment the view which uses this counter. So we can use this counter over here like this. Now call our counter. So this is how you concatenate string in SwiftUI. Now every time this counter is incremented, I want this text view to be updated with the new counter, and that can be done as well with the @state property. So let's wrap this counter variable with @state, and this is it. This is all you have to do. And now if I click on this increment, it will increment the counter and it will update the text view as well. So every time I click on it, it will increment the counter by 1, and then it will update the UI. So @state is very much useful when you are working on SwiftUI. There are several benefits of using @state. Your views update automatically when the state changes, and that is very useful when you're creating a real world application. So let's create a real world application. Let's say I want to create a weather view where I can change the theme of my application to day and night when user click on a button. So let's create a new file and call it weather view, and let's create it. Let's create a Z stack, and in the Z stack we'll have a background color. So let's give it a color, and let's give it a color of black as of now. As you can see, the top area is not black because this is the safe area. So to include this with our background color, all we have to do is to ignore the safe area. So you can call ignore safe area, and now you can see your UI has a background color of black. Now let's create a VStack, and let's make our view look more like a weather application. So let's give it a image with system name, and let's give it a system name. So I would give moon.stars.fill, and this is a SF symbol image which should show a moon in our UI. Let's make it resizable, give it an aspect ratio of .fit frame. Let's give it a width of 150 and height of 150. Let's give it a foreground color. Let's give it a white color, and then let's give it some padding. Now let's create a text, and let's say it is 23 degrees Celsius. Let's give it a font of dot system size of 60, and then give it a color of white. And now let's create a button to toggle between day and night. So let's create a button, and it would be of button with label and action. So in the action, let's keep it blank as of now. Let's create a button and give it a text of switch to day. Okay, so this is night view and we want to switch it to day. Let's give it a font of title 2, then foreground color with foreground style, and we'll give it a white color with padding, and then let's give it a background of gray color dot gray, and then give it a corner radius of, let's say, 10. So this is our simple weather application, as you can see. Now let's add a state variable in it, and on click of the switch to date, all we want to do is change our theme to day view. So let's create a variable over here. It would be @state. Let's create a private var. Let's call it is day, and it would be of boolean type. And let's set it to true as of now. So for our background color, if it is day, we want to show blue colors because skies are blue. And if it is night, then we want to show black color. So let's say is day. If it is day, then let's show blue color, else we'll show black. So this is the ternary operator. Now as you can see, because is day is true, we already see blue background for our UI. Now even for system name, we don't want to show moon in the day. So if it is day, so is day, we will show a bright sun. So here we'll show sun.max.fill, and if it is not day, then we'll be showing moon stars.fill. So now we can see sun for our day, and in the action, all we have to do is just call isDay.toggle. So we have this function called toggle, which will toggle for our boolean. So if it is true, it will toggle it to false, and if it is false, it will toggle it to true. Let's call that function. And even for text, it should not always be switched to day because it is already day. Let's make it, if it is day, then it should say switch to night. But if it is not day, then it should say switch to day. Now if I click on it, switch to night, as you can see, the background has changed to black, and our image has also changed, and our text has also changed to switch to day. And if I click on that again, now it is changed to day, and our image and text has also changed. So we can keep on toggling, and it is working as expected with our state variable. So this is how simple it is to use @state in your real world application. Using @state and SwiftUI is a powerful way to make your app's UI reactive and dynamic. This is it with @state. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.